The book of Revelation was written to bring comfort to first century followers of Jesus and exhort them to faithfulness in the face of persecution. It is not a prophecy about today, and it can cause significant harm when we misunderstand it as a prophecy about today. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion. The fit for this video is a mystery. And the book of Revelation makes use of first century apocalyptic themes and imagery in order to comfort followers of Jesus, that God was working behind the scenes and would ultimately bring them victory, help them overcome their enemy, the much larger and oppressive Roman Empire. It also exhorts followers of Jesus to faithfulness in the face of persecution from that larger oppressive Roman Empire. It is not a prophecy about today, but when we misunderstand it as such, it requires us to find a place for ourselves in the narrative. Now, in that narrative, followers of Jesus were minoritized, marginalized, and oppressed groups, and they were under the boot of the much larger Roman Empire. Shortly after the book of Revelation was written, Christianity took over the Roman Empire, and many Christians ever since have lived in social and political circumstances where they exercised outsized influence and where they were on the privileged end of systemic power asymmetries. And that's particularly true of the United States today. But a part of finding ourselves in the narrative, understanding today as the fulfillment of the prophecies of the book of Revelation, requires that we find someone for the role of the larger oppressive empire that represents Satan. It requires that we find an oppressor for ourselves, which means we have to go out in search of somebody who is the social and the political other, whom we can cast as the demonized, satanic enemy of God. And far too often that means groups like Iran and Russia and China, or the Palestinians, including immigrants to the United States from those areas, including members of the LGBTQ+ community, including people who are trying to use new technology, including all kinds of different groups, many of whom are on the losing end of the systemic power asymmetries that so many Christians benefit from. So when you see people in positions of privilege and power trying to identify other groups as God's enemy, as the tools of Satan, as demonic forces, keep in mind what kind of damage that can cause just because we misunderstand what this book is about. And understanding it as a prophecy about today requires that we find someone to be the enemy.